there's an enemy type called a vampire.
Fucking hell.
I'm
pour the milk
in this
in,
moment.
and the citrus makes it curdle.
Take
Hey,
my
I'll
shot.
take 5 minutes of Pirates. I'll take it. Why not?
I'll take a lot more than 5 minutes of Pirates, if you know what I'm saying. No, how do you feel about Pirates?
Pirates, you know what? I do be liking Pirates. I like Pirates a lot, actually.
I also like Pirates a lot. And I think that we as a society are going through a little bit, at least in the gaming world, are going through a little bit of a pirate revival right now.
If I could be so bold, I think even out of the gaming world, we're going through a pirate revival. I don't know if you are familiar with Our Flag Means Death, but that's
true. That is a pirate show.
A fucking gay as hell pirate show that like is super popular.
I need to watch that so bad. I hear nothing but good things.
Nina loves it. I have not seen it, so
I feel like Nina and I
can't
tend to have very similar tastes when it comes to television.
Mm-hmm.
Not exactly the same, I don't think, but very similar.
No, I mean probably not, but you never know.
No, well, I know not, because I know a couple of shows that her and I have talked about that were both very
Legend of Korra.
Exactly. I wasn't gonna say it. I wasn't gonna out Nina like that, but you know, whatever.
Nina is very open about her opinion that she does not like Legend of Korra.
That's valid.
So
that's valid. Her and I need to talk about the new Avatar stuff at some point.
I'm sure you didn't get your advanced copy?
No. Oh, haha. No.
No, Nina got it.
Wait, really?
You didn't get one?
Oh, fuck you. No.
No, I didn't get one either.
Okay.
But I was about to lead into this whole thing about how she thinks it sucks too, but
I mean, look, I wasn't sure if because I was talking about the live action. I didn't know what you were talking about for a second. It's what took me a moment to.
Oh.
That's what took me a moment for my brain to
Yeah, there is
itself.
a new live action in there.
You know what though?
God.
I'm not excited for it per se, but I'm not like, ooh, it's gonna be bad out the gate. Like, I'm truly not.
Mm-hmm.
I really feel like there are some flags that are saying, oh wait, we're actually doing good things, and then there are some flags that are like, ooh, actually big yikes.
I mean, I was a big fan of when a bunch of people were like, hey, I thought you guys were making sure to hire like native actors, and they're like, oh yeah, we are, and everyone's like, well, what about, who was it? I think Sokka.
Yeah.
And they're just like, what about the guy you have playing Sokka? And they're like, well, he said he was.
Didn't they fire him and replace him though? I'm pretty sure.
I have no idea.
I'm pretty sure they replaced him because of it. I mean, to be fair, totally fair, I'm not gonna go look. If somebody who's gonna lie about that? Apparently him. But like, I'm not. If I'm casting somebody who's supposed to look, be a Native American or
no. Here's the thing.
What's the other thing?
If someone told me, I'm not going to try and fact check them.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
But if my casting call specifies.
No, that's weird. I feel like that's super weird. That's like me saying.
To lie?
That's like me.
Or to specify.
To specify. I feel like that's me
saying.
No,
it's not weird. That's a really normal thing.
I don't think.
We are looking for this show to hire exclusively native actors.
I'll be honest. I think it's weird to. I think it would be weird to have to look it up, or feel like you need to look it up.
Because it's an accountability thing, in my opinion. If you are making the statement publicly,
no, that's super fair.
That you're like, I want Native Americans and First Nation actors only.
Yeah.
And then someone comes in and says, "Hi, that is me." It is, and here's where I'm connected and everything like that. It is your due diligence to make sure that they are not taking advantage of you, but also that you're actually representing yourself still properly, because that's like your rep on the line.
That's fair. I think you're right. I think that it becomes an issue the moment you publicly state that this is the thing, right? Like if
it becomes an issue the moment that you made it the issue first.
Well, I think if it's a casting call, that's one thing. I really do. I think that if it's a casting call and then like they just say, I'm not going to go look it up. But if you have publicly said to the world, this is what we're doing, then yeah, you have to go follow up on that. Like you have to. At the very least, Google the tribe.
I feel like that's not even enough, because it's not like he made up a tribe.
I don't know the full story. I remember parts of this, but
that's how people found out was the problem, I believe, is that that people were like, hey, so we checked in and turns out that that's not true.
Hog fucking wild. The lesson learned here, as we all know, as Gabe Newell said many years ago, never fucking lie on the internet. Never lie to the internet, because they will find out and they will burn you to the ground for it every time.
Mm-hmm.
Every single fucking time. But yeah, pirates. Pirates are cool. I'm a huge fan. I've been itching for a space pirate game, to be honest with you. Like I'm good with land pirates. Sea of Thieves is out there. There's some games that are pirate adjacent. I'd love a good I'd love a good pirate RPG. I feel like we haven't had that in a hot minute.
Yeah, it's a shame because there's a lot of really great elements that could be built into that. Like Sea of Thieves, great game, very fun. I want a solo version of that personally.
Understandable.
Because as much as I would love to play Sea of Thieves, I don't want to play it alone because that's just not practical, and I don't want to play it with randos.
No, and it's also just a bad time. Like, truly, playing Sea of Thieves solo is not fun.
Well, I
Even
mean, like,
duos
how are
are
you
kinda
supposed to
rough.
pilot that big old ship? And
Well,
I'm
you
not
don't, you
going to
get the
pilot a
smaller
little dinghy.
That's fair. I was gonna say, you just get the smaller ship, but no,
What,
you're
you
right.
want me to get, like, attacked by everyone? No, thank you.
Aw, dude, I'm more scared of people in the little dinghies, to be 100 with you.
Oh, because they're crazy and they're just like, yar har fiddledy dee, I am a pirate, and they come and they sink your ship because they can't take it from you.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that
Yeah, that makes sense.
That exactly. Congratulations for summing that up. But yeah, no, I'm a huge fan of pirate games. I really do feel like we're coming into maybe a little bit of a resurgence. We had Our Flag Means Death, Starjammer, which is what I was really going to lead in with, is out, and that's literally just, hey, do you want to be a space pirate? But in a D&D. We got what's the new fucking Bethesda game? The one that's coming out next year. Starfield?
Starfield, yeah.
Starfield, which low-key looks like what if No Man's Sky had a story and was a more pirate-based. Like,
that does sound pretty good.
Which sounds great. It sounds so good, and I need more pirate games. I need more pirate games. I need more fun pirate-focused games that aren't that's not like made in like that's not made to be something that you play with that has to be played with other people, right? Like, I don't need another Sea of Thieves, although I enjoy Sea of Thieves, but I don't really need Sea of Thieves or Black Wake or shit. What was the sky ship game that we played that one time? Guns of Icarus or anything like that. I need to be able to go and build my little ship and set sail and have a good time. I need Assassin's Creed Black Flag, but in 2022.
Yeah, no, I can get behind that.
Now all that to say, to let you kind of segue into the thing you want to talk about before I really pull the conversation and talk about Starjammer for 40 minutes. You had a drink.
I did have a drink,
and you said you were going to lead in with it, and I said,
then you
go
immediately opened up with pirates.
Yeah, I did it on purpose. I don't get to do cold opens very often. I took my shot.
I'll take 5 minutes of pirates. I'll take it. Why not?
I'll take a lot more than 5 minutes of pirates, if you know what I'm saying.
Absolutely not. We're done talking about pirates. Spelljammer who? We're talking about Noah's cocktail that he's drinking. Dan,
go on. Sorry.
I have gotten into recently Manhattans.
Interesting. That doesn't surprise me, actually.
I just realized I forgot to put my fancy cherry into it. I bought fancy cherries. They were $20 for a jar, and they're the best little gift I've ever bought myself. They're real maraschino cherries,
as opposed
not
to
the neon red shit.
As opposed to the shit you get. Yeah.
Yeah, they are so good. They are so good. Apparently, there's 50 servings per jar. I don't think there's 50 cherries in there.
Damn,
but
that's cold.
Even if there are, then that means we're looking at like 30 cents a cherry.
Fair enough.
But all that being said, hot damn, they're so good. I forgot to put it into this, but this is a little Manhattan that I've made for myself. I'm not a huge fan of old fashions because there's just a part of me that's like, why would I want to drink whiskey, sugar, and bitters? I'm realizing Manhattans. Let me look up the recipe real quick because I'm about to feel real stupid.
I mean, I personally agree with you with the old fashions. I like they're fine, but definitely not my like go-to.
Oh, thank the Lord. I thought there was supposed to be like sugar syrup in this, and there is not. Oh, thank goodness. Okay. Anyway, yeah, so I did. I'm a big fan of the 2-to-1 ratio of whiskey to vermouth.
Yep, that feels right.
So I got my sweet vermouth, I got some hits of bitters, and the bourbon I decided to go with is Old Forester. Are you familiar?
I am not at all.
It's a nice little bourbon. It is 86 proof.
Ooh, that's spicy.
Yeah, just that little bit extra. And I don't think I would drink it on its own.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it for my coworker because he was on his way out. He got himself a new job in the state, moving up in the world, yada yada yada.
As one does.
And I was just like, so what's some stuff that you've been looking to try? Blah blah blah. You know, sneakily sneaking it in there. And Old Forester came up. It's come up multiple times in our conversations because he was like, Old Forester is supposed to be really good. And it was one of those, God damn it, Jackson. Fuck, that totally derailed my train of thought. Holy shit. Screwball and milk, greatest drink of all time, peanut butter milk. Oh god, we're gonna come to that back to that in a second. I bought this guy a bottle of Old Forester as a goodbye gift because it's like $20. He always said that it's like a really good budget bourbon. And that was like our main selling point of it is, yeah, it's only a couple of bucks, but it still is like good enough to stand up to like the $30 bourbons and stuff like that. His big thing was saying, I think it tastes better than Buffalo Trace, which is his big hot take, which is
That's some kind
that
of
he
take.
just doesn't like Buffalo Trace.
I don't.
You know?
Yeah, I don't know that either. I don't. I'm slowly realizing as I get older that I know so much less about like booze as a whole than I wish I did.
What a fucking mood. What a fucking mood. But this Old Forester is really nice. It makes a really tight Manhattan. I think it's very pleasant. I think it stands and knocks that vermouth back just right because you don't really want to taste. It's kind of like in a martini, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to taste the vermouth, but you need it to be there to open it up.
Yeah, 100% agree.
And while I love my Bushmills Manhattan with all my heart, I think it's really, really good. This Manhattan's quite nice too. And I don't know, maybe I'm just a Manhattan man.
A Manhattan, if you will.
Yep.
I mean, I can get that. I would be lying if I said I've had a ton of Manhattans in my life, but they're tasty. The ones I have had. I've been really, really, really into whiskey sours lately. Did I talk to you about my oh shoot, what is it called? My elderflower stuff. Were you around for that conversation?
Was it an elderflower gin?
Elderflower liqueur. It's
Okay. Oh, just
Saint Germain. Saint Germain.
Yeah, Saint Germain.
Nothing really that fancy, except I've never had it before, and like it's one of those things where now that I've had it in a couple of things, I want it in everything because it is just such a very. It's just good. It's just super good. But besides anything with that, I've been just basically doing whiskey sours nonstop. I've been using agave sweetener instead of simple syrup, just because I like the. It gives it just a tiny bit more flavor in a different way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I want to.
Well, it's kind of like the different kinds of sugar syrup you can make. You know, like a Demerara syrup is going to taste different than a white sugar syrup, which is going to taste different than a brown sugar syrup.
Exactly. I think I want to try it. So shout out to friend of the show. Well, friend of me, not so much friend of the show. Said who brought some maple syrup down from his province in Canada to the wedding. And
I understand that that's what Canadian areas are called, but in my mind, I'm like, his province. Like he's a sovereign citizen or something.
From his province. And I realized the other day that like,
Provincia, they said.
I can just use that instead of simple syrup, and I think I'm going to because I feel like maple syrup in a whiskey sour would be amazing. I don't know.
Ooh,
that
could be good.
Yeah,
actually.
No, I think it'll be really good, especially because it is a very. It's a very. I don't want to say thin because that makes it sound like it's bad, but it is. It's thin. It's non like if you get a maple syrup from the store, odds are pretty good. It has like corn syrup and stuff in it, but this doesn't because it's like right out of the farm. And so it is a lot thinner than like something out of a more like standard traditional bottle, like a whatever. But yeah, I've been really enjoying nothing but whiskey sours the last like 2 weeks, and whatever I can make with my with my Saint Germain.
I really wanted to. If my issue with Saint Germain is that it is too expensive for me to buy it without any knowledge of what it tastes like or what I could use it with, just to experiment. You know what I mean?
I get that actually. The only reason I picked it up,
I want to pick it up to experiment with.
Yeah, exactly.
I like the idea of an elderflower liqueur. I think it would be great. Elderflower martinis, elderflower, all kinds of stuff you could do. I think it would be great to splash a little bit in this Manhattan even. But I already know what I like. I'm not going to experiment for $30, $40 a bottle. You kidding me?
Yeah, no, 100% get that. And I think the key for Saint Germain is that it's not you can't use it as a primary liquor.
Yeah.
It has to be just as a flavoring thing. But it adds almost a pseudo. I don't know what you would really call like a thick flavor, for lack of a better word. I don't know what that would even be called. Like almost like maybe a pseudo creaminess to certain things. It very light, but very much noticeable in there. And makes a lot of things just very drinkable that I wouldn't have really expected. I think the one I was doing was just vodka, vodka, whiskey, one or the other, Saint Germain, and some cranberry juice, and it was amazing.
Ooh,
yeah,
that sounds really good too.
Good. It was good. It was a good time. I've been enjoying boozing it up lately.
I've been having a lot of fun with different cocktails recently. I think that there's a lot of fun out there that I was not experiencing when I was first getting into drinking, and then I like borderline stopped drinking entirely for like 3 years in the middle there. And now I'm back and I'm enjoying it again this time rather than drinking because I was stressed at work and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah, which is an objectively
And
terrible reason to drink.
exactly. And I was drinking like garbage too.
Well, that's I think
Like
that's something I find kind of interesting because I feel like it's it's easy to drink just ass shit garbage when you're
so
just
easy to
sad.
drink garbage.
Like if you're drinking because you're sad, you really truly do not give a shit what it tastes like.
Mhm.
Um, and there's
That's
nothing wrong with
one of the
that.
things that I decided recently is that like I'm not going to return to drinking like stuff that's not nice.
Yeah, no, I get that.
So, you know, I'm gonna enjoy drinking like nicer stuff because I'm not drinking often. So I'll spend an extra couple bucks, not on Saint Germain. But you know, it's like I'm willing to try out some like things that I didn't like as much before because I know I like them more now, like different bourbons and stuff.
Hmm.
I'm I don't know. I have some Redemption Rye in the cabinet, and I'm gonna try
Ooh, is that
making
the
a
one that you gave me some of?
no, I gave you the Basil Hayden Rye.
That was also fucking great. I've heard of Redemption. Why do I know Redemption?
Probably because it's a mid-shelf bourbon that is super accessible.
That's probably why.
It's got a few different flavor lines to it. I have the rye, and I guess a general rule is that people make Manhattans with rye, so I'm gonna try making one with that next.
Hell yeah.
You know, it's fun trying out new cocktails. It's fun trying out new things in like chill ways.
Yeah, understandable. I mean, I think that there's it's one of those things where there's so much booze out there, right? And in so
Mhm.
many different layers of being accessible and being
It's
like
miserable. It is miserable.
and it's so hard kind of like what you said, it's so hard to tell what you like. I feel like unless you have it at like a bar, right? Unless you ask a bartender, "Oh, make it with whatever." And then you're like, "Oh, what's in this?" You will never find out what you actually like.
And then they'll tell you, "Oh, it's Whiskey Club brand whiskey.
Yeah, right?
It's $3 a liter."
And you're like, wow, I hate myself for liking this, but it is tasty.
Honestly, there's a lot of good well whiskeys out there. Forester is borderline a well whiskey.
Yeah,
You know, like it's nicer than that, but it's not that much nicer.
yeah.
And then there's Old Granddad I've heard good things about, and that is well
I
whiskey.
don't know that one. Probably
Yeah,
because
there's you know, there's a lot of pretty decent stuff out there. Most people anymore, their well whiskey is like Jack Daniels. And I think that's hilarious.
I mean that's definitely what I think of as a well whiskey, which I think
Like
is really interesting.
any mid-tier bar
Mhm.
isn't reaching for a generic like they're not reaching for Bankers Club whiskey.
Mm-mm.
They're reaching for, you know, something like
Like Jack.
Jack Daniels
Hmm.
or something similar, you know, and that's their like go-to like mixer. And I think that's funny
Why is that funny? I don't know.
because Jack used to be a shelf item, you know, like
Interesting. I've always thought of it as like kind of a
well, yeah, it's mid-tier, but it's never been well.
fair enough.
But so many places are picking it up as their like just go-to reach. And I think that's
I
fun.
think it's also because I think it's like a popularity thing, right? At that point, like people
Some of it is a
know
popularity
Jack
thing, but it's
Daniels.
also but that's the thing. You used to upcharge to get Jack Daniels in something. Now
Mm.
it's like Jack Daniels is the go-to.
Fair, fair. I don't know. I would love to like. Hi, and I talked about this for a while, but I would love to just try more drinks and like kind of have an idea of actually what I'm saying and what I'm doing.
I'm really excited for you to come to Erie so that I can take you to Altered State
I'm excited.
distillery in town. I
I'm
think you will
excited.
love it.
Probably. I almost actually definitely would. I enjoy a good distillery every now and again.
It's just kind of nice to go through and like I like it best when people walk me through a situation. They're like, this is what you pick up from this. This is what you should experience
Yes.
here. I always am going to love that more.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree, and I think
And
it's
the bad news is this is not a tour that I'll be taking you on for this one,
coward.
well, it's a bar distillery, you know, it's all right
Shit.
there. But it's quite nice.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm super down to go. Trust me. I went to when we were in South Carolina. Hi and I went to a distillery, and it was an absolute blast. Yeah, I don't know. I just want more. I want more booze in my life. I wanna drink more, but I mean you've been in my house now, right? I can't remember if we ever actually had you in. Yeah, we did. We had you and Nina here, right?
Hmm.
You saw my booze shelf.
I did. It is nice.
I have a lot of booze. I have a lot of booze in my house, but it's a lot of like 3 or 4 copies of the same thing because we're like, oh, what if we run out? We don't want to. Nobody wants to stop in the middle of drinking something because you're out of the thing you were drinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's objectively a bad time.
Honestly, most of the times when I'm going to when I'm going to drink, I get something new, I feel like.
You know what? I
So
think that's a better
my
way to do it.
shelf is full of half-empty bottles that I feel like I will never finish. No, Dan, this is something I think you can get into with me.
Okay. I'm here.
And I think that you're really going to like this, okay?
Okay. I'm in.
On TikTok, you may have come across this as well. And if I've already talked about this on the podcast, I'm doing it again. The concept of the infinity whiskey. Have we talked?
No.
Well, you know what? In fairness, even if we have, you're not going to remember.
It's true.
So someone's going to call us out if we did in hindsight. Okay, but here's the idea. One guy I saw was taking full bottles and dumping them into like a 50-gallon barrel.
Oh,
and
I know.
then he would take a little
like
copper shooter, dip it down in, pull it out, taste it, and be like, all right, this is kind of cool. You know, they would grab different bourbons, pop them in there. He put in an entire bottle of Howler Head, the banana bourbon, and said that it was a nice addition, you know, because you have enough other stuff in there. But you can do this in a smaller way too. Dan, why at the end of your cocktail making, let's say that you're not a studious pourer and you don't observe exact pours, and you have like a half shot left at the end of the bottle. Hear me out. Instead of just upending the bottle and into your mouth or making the drink a little bit stronger, leave it there. And the next whiskey bottle you get to that point, pour it on top of that. And just do that with all your leftover whiskey. Make your own custom blend.
I love this.
Because as long as you keep it at least an 80 proof whiskey, you're never going to be underproofed. It'll last essentially forever. And like, let's be real here, you know? It's like...
Ooh, don't say what you're about to say. Don't do it. Hai's gonna get real mad at us.
I'm just saying it would be really fun to make your own blend.
Yes,
I think it would be good.
100%.
Single malt, congratulations, Hai. You've made Dan afraid to speak. But I'm gonna say it. I'm not afraid to say it. Blending could be fun.
Damn. I think Hai's gonna roast us.
You know, I'm just like, if you have a half shot, if you have a half shot of something reasonably nice left over, then yeah, keep that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But if you have 3 different bottles of mid-tier bourbon, shit, dude, even that Basil Hayden I gave you is mid-top, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
If you have a half shot of that left, pop that into your infinity bottle. Why not? Get creative. Have fun with it. That's what I'm going to do.
Michelle and I have been experimenting, kind of in a similar but not the same vein. Michelle and I have been experimenting with pre-mixing cocktails. Did I talk about this on the podcast?
You have not.
So a while back, we got some mason jars, you know, classic mason jars, plastic lid, whatever, not intended to be canned, but intended to be...
bitch boy jars. Bitch boy.
Not intended for canning.
You're not using the metal lid? I have the metal lids for all of mine, and I use them as if it's a plastic lid.
Well, we have the plastic lids. Also,
I made
it looks
iced tea the other day. It was just like I poured it warm in there, and then I put the metal lid on top, and it's sealed, and I couldn't open it.
That's so funny. Suffer. That's what you get for being pretentious, bitch. But yeah, so a while back we made up some sangria, and when you're making sangria, most sangria recipes will just tell you to use a whole bottle of whatever you're using, right?
So true, and it's kind of frustrating
because I don't want to drink an entire bottle of sangria. Like I don't want that much sangria. If I'm just having a little sangria in the morning, Michelle and I are gonna make some sangria and make breakfast, I don't want that much sangria. And so we jarred the rest of it up. And we just threw it in a mason jar, threw it in the fridge. And then and the thing with sangria, you get some fruit in there, you just leave that sucker in the fridge for pretty much as long as you want. It's just gonna get better.
Pretty much, yeah.
And
I would say the only concern with sangria is eventually wine will turn.
Of course. And so there's a time limit, but it is a like you have like a week or two, right? You're not like it has to be drank all in one sitting because it's out. Huge fan. Michelle made up this guava like summery mixed drink cocktail. Made 2 jars of it, stuck it in the fridge. We came back to it like over the course of like 2 weeks. We would like go and have a couple, you know, have a little bit out of the jar and put it back and go back for more, and like didn't have to mix our drink. Tastes 1,000 times better, and is 1,000 times cheaper than getting just like a pre-mixed cocktail from the store. And like super fun. And like something that you can kind of a little bit of iterating on it, where it's like, oh well, this drink now needs a little bit more because it's been sitting in there for 4 or 5, 6 days. You got to throw a little extra guava juice or a little extra liquor in there, whatever. Just a really
Hmm.
fun time, and it's been something fun to kind of play around with. I don't think it's for every drink, obviously, but for like some bigger, especially fruitier cocktails that are very heavily juice oriented, I think it works really well.
I would agree. Actually, I've been seeing this guy on TikTok too, who's been doing a lot of stuff like this. Um, and he's been doing it with mostly tiki drinks,
Ooh.
stuff that has a lot of citrus in it. Here's what he does, okay? So let's say that you're gonna make a hurricane,
I do
that
like
has
a
a lot
hurricane.
it has a lot of acid in it, doesn't it?
Sure does.
So then what he says is that we're gonna clarify this with milk. And he
Huh.
pours in milk. There's a certain ratio he does, like milk to drink. You pour it in. I'm gonna need you to bear with me, Dan.
I'm listening. You have me at hello. I'm
Pour the milk
disgusted at
in,
this moment.
and the citrus makes it curdle, like immediately.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
You let it sit for a few hours until it's fully incorporated. And then you strain it all out through a filter. He usually does one of those like big giant cone filters lined with paper towels. He pours it in, lets it drain into a separate container overnight, and it clarifies the drink. It cuts back some of the nastier notes, adds a slight velvety mouthfeel, and there's so much booze that it is shelf stable.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
So you can make yourself a boatload of these.
I am deeply horrified and deeply intrigued.
No, right? There is a part of this that's just like, I want to try it. But like, I'm not a tiki drink guy.
God, I love tiki drinks. I might do this. I might have to get Michelle to like sign on because this is not a thing that I will do on my own. But like as an idea, I'm sold. No, what I'm hearing is that next time you come down, we're gonna do this as a team.
What, and make something so I can take some back?
Yeah.
All right, I'll think about it. Think about it.
I have for a very long time now wanted to go and make my own hard cider, like a really long time. The problem is it's hard to get unpasteurized cider unless you're getting it like directly from a.
Yeah, you'd kind of just have to make your own apples.
Well, or you get it from the Amish, basically.
I got to be honest, I don't want Amish cider. I'll just crush my own apples.
Valid. I mean, is it because is it ideological you don't want the Amish cider or
both?
Okay.
Also, let's be real. Rather than get unpasteurized apples, introduce brewer's yeast to your homemade apple cider.
I mean, that is really the correct answer. I understand.
It's safer, and I would like to try it that way.
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay, real quick. Nina accidentally locked her keys at work, and I need to go get her.
Okay.
So I know we're only halfway through an episode.
We can pause and we can come back.
Yeah, let's pause, and then I'll come back and we'll finish the episode.
What I'm actually
Hey, we're back. We definitely didn't disappear for like 45 minutes in the middle there. This is a direct continuation of the other episode. I don't know why you're asking. I definitely remember what we were fucking talking about.
I definitely don't. I think we were talking about booze for most of it. I don't know.
Yeah, most of it was about booze. Yeah.
I don't know if we talked a little bit about pirates and then mostly about booze.
And I mean, like, the nice thing about talking about booze is that when we definitely didn't take a 45-minute break, you had a chance
to run and get some booze.
Correct me if I'm wrong. To make a cocktail.
I did. I went off and as discussed, I was like, oh, I'm gonna try this out with some maple syrup. So I just finished shaking it off mic, and I'm pouring it. Nice. Hold on, let's see if we can get some good ASMR up in here.
Let's get some asthma.
Hold on, I'm actually gonna, instead of lifting it up to my mic, I'm gonna bring my mic down to it because I'm not a fucking savage.
I guess.
Well, I'm more concerned about making a mess.
Fair enough.
All
right, no talk. Let's listen.
All right, here we go. I know that came through on mic. I don't know how well it came through via Discord.
It actually did come through. Well, one part came through on Discord. Maybe not all of it.
It looked like
some of it did.
The beginning didn't, and the end did. Hold on. We're gonna drop our cherries in. I can't believe that is getting picked up on my waveform. I know it didn't come through on Discord, but it definitely got picked up on the waveform.
Yeah, nothing came here, but I'm glad to know that we got a little ploop ploop.
We did get that double ploop action. All right, let's see if this is any good. Ooh, okay. This was a good call.
For the viewers at home, this is a whiskey sour with maple syrup.
With maple syrup instead of simple. Yes.
Nice.
Less tart, which I guess you would expect. Mm-hmm. The maple kind of does cut out a lot more of the The lemon, not the lime. Jesus Christ. The lemon, not the lime. Jesus Christ. I can talk and also talk directly into my microphone. I've been doing this podcast for so many years.
You're more than a little professional. You're pretty damn professional.
I have merch. Well, buttons, but still, it counts.
Buttons are merch.
Buttons are merch. Merch that we don't sell. Anyway, it's good. Yeah. It's really it's actually really good. I'm gonna try not to chug this. No taste of whiskey whatsoever.
Ooh, that's honestly, here's the thing, right? In my opinion, I think every cocktail shouldn't really taste like alcohol at all.
I think there are exceptions. I think like something like a Manhattan, I almost do expect to taste like alcohol.
Yes, I would agree with a Manhattan.
And obviously like an old-fashioned, same thing.
Yeah, but like I want to taste like the flavor notes in a whiskey.
Correct. You don't want to just taste the booze of it.
Yeah, I don't want to taste like, oh, here it is. It's the whiskey. And I don't want to taste the bite of the alcohol. I want to taste the flavors.
Which is why.
And I really enjoy like drinks that, I remember what we were talking about. Milk clarified cocktails.
That's what we were talking about.
And that's one of the things that he says is that you do not taste the booze as much, even though they're like really fucking overproofed.
Interest. I mean, I believe that. That makes sense. I'm very curious about it. I'm absolutely down to try.
Nice. Me too.
I think that it's part of the reason that a really good cocktail can be made with really meh booze.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's we're gonna get my train of thought back. Because like if it's a really well made cocktail, it does matter what you use, but for the most part it kind of doesn't. Like you can use subpar liquor and make a really, really dope cocktail out of it if it's flavored and ratioed correctly.
Mm-hmm. One of the things that does blow my mind though is when people don't know when you can get away with using cheaper stuff.
Yeah.
Because the more you have in it, right? The more you have in it, the more you can get away with doing some cheaper like filler. But let's say you're gonna make a vodka Collins. Have you ever had a vodka Collins? So like, let me double check. But if I'm correct, it's vodka and soda and a vodka tonic maybe. Let's see. What is a vodka Tom Collins? It is easy vodka Collins cocktail. Show me what the fuck is in it. Where is the recipe? God damn. I don't need it. Okay. Vodka, lemon juice, simple, club soda.
I mean,
I don't mean to shit talk anyone who might think they know who I am. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Hypothetically from work. They don't know who I am, but if they think they do, and this story sounds like it's about them, it's not. It's about some other dude.
Yeah.
However,
I
heard a story of a guy who had a vodka Collins made, and he didn't care what vodka was put in it, so they did well vodka because it was Nikolai. The guy was like, do you want well vodka or you want something else? And he's like, well's fine. He gets a Nikolai vodka Collins. And when your ingredients include sugar, lemon, vodka, and club soda, and you only have one spirit, you do kind of be needing to have that one spirit because it's not a lot of lemon.
Mm-hmm.
All right? It is 1.5 vodka, 1 lemon, half simple, which is a lot of lemon, relatively, right? But like, bars aren't going to be making it that heavy.
Correct.
And most likely it's going to be a splash of sweet and sour. Dan, I got to be honest, if you're that minimal, you have to spring for something decent.
Yeah, you got to put the work in.
And he said, I was surprised because, vodka should be vodka, but I swapped it out for a nicer vodka later. I don't remember what he swapped it for. And he's like, I was amazed at how much better it was. And it's like, my guy.
It's because bad vodka tastes like hand sanitizer and good vodka tastes like water. That's really
literally
why.
That is it.
Vodka especially, I think, is actually like one of the worst things to cheap out on. Like, I'm going to make a big claim. I think like, while there is obviously a lot of difference between whiskeys, if you're mixing a whiskey into something, after a certain point, upward or downward, it's not going to taste that different. Like at bottom of the shelf, the bottom like 15 things are all going to taste the same. Top shelf, the top 15 things, why the fuck are you mixing those in anyway? Right? But I would say gin and vodka especially, like
I'll be honest, I don't mind certain cheap gins. Like Crystal Palace is dirt shit garbage. But if I have a well gin and tonic, I'm usually pretty happy with it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But like that's because well gin, the worst it's gonna do is give you a stomach ache. You know, it's not like well gin isn't gonna treat you terribly because it's junipery. You expect that. It's gonna treat you terribly because it's like too acidic and unbalanced.
Correct.
But vodka, oh my god, you cannot substitute shit vodka in a drink that is like,
There's only
what
vodka.
what if there was only vodka in this and no flavorants other than a splishity splash of lemon?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
That's 4 parts soda.
You can, you gotta you gotta accept that there's consequence. You have to learn that your actions have consequences, I guess is what we're saying.
Honestly, it is not, in my opinion, it is not hard to already know, because it's like, if you're a new drinker, I very much understand that you wouldn't know that. No shade, that is 100% fine. If you exist as a Crown Roos enjoyer, God, get some help. But also, like, okay, you don't know any better. That's fine. You're drinking to forget. I really hope you get better.
I hope it all works out.
But if you're sitting at a bar and you order a vodka Collins, and then you're like, yeah, you can put Nikolai in that. What the hell, dude?
Stop it. Get some help.
Yeah. Like, God.
No,
it's so annoying.
Agree. Well, and it's such an interesting thing because, like, everyone has opinions on booze, obviously, right? And people have different things they do and don't like, of course, obviously.
And here's the thing about booze. Most of that, if we're being real, it's dealer's choice. Yeah, if you like it, it's good.
Yeah, exactly. It works for you.
But there are rules.
There are rules, and some of those rules include, hey, buddy, sometimes you gotta put in a little extra for the good shit, because otherwise you are just gonna be disappointed. And if just be better. Like, it's not is the difference that big, I guess is the way to say that. Like, is the difference that big in price that you're going to like have, that you would try to get the well version of vodka in a drink that is only vodka and a tiny bit of other things?
I gotta be honest, no.
Like, if you want to get a well vodka, just get in like a vodka cranberry or a
you don't even need to get like good vodka.
Like,
yeah,
you
vodka cran
100
screwdriver. You can't taste shit in that. It's juice.
It's juice. But yikes, big yikes. Honestly, big yikes. I love this. Oh, I wanted to. I know we're a little further on in the episode that we definitely didn't take a middle of. But
yeah, we didn't do that.
I think we're winding down on booze talk.
I actually, believe it or not, I thought I had more booze talk to hit, and I'm trying to remember what it was, because it was actually like a big a ring-a-ding slammer in there. And I'm kind of vamping to try and remember, because I remember I was about to say, Dan, now hear me out. I want to let you talk about your pirate ship, which is, I'm assuming, what you were going to try and transfer over here to.
It is. You're correct.
And then I was going to bring up, fucking hell. Okay. I got nothing. Sorry. I'll bring it back if I can remember it.
Understandable. Have a nice day. If I may. No, do you know anything at all about the new Starjammer setting?
You know, shockingly enough, I know a lot about the new Starjammer setting, but it is only because you have told me about it, saying, don't you worry, I know I'm going to tell you about this later, but like, it's really cool and I think you'll like it now anyway.
I was right, too. I was correct.
Hey everyone, since recording this episode, a couple of things got brought up on Twitter recently. So Dan and I just wanted to get this out there, just to do it, you know, like, I don't think we're going to get like canceled or anything like that, but also it just seems correct for us to put this giant like world-sized disclaimer on this conversation. When we talk about Spelljammer, we had not, like, I haven't read the book at all. Dan hadn't finished reading the whole book and had just like skimmed most of it, because we were really here to talk about the cool space travel stuff, because the concept of all that is fun as hell. As you will hear as Dan like goes into some of the details of it. However, what we did not pick up was the really weird slave race that Wizards decided to include, that not only is that what they are, but they're like happy to be a slave race, you know, like fucking J.K. Rowling in the House Elf type situation. Like, we both totally blindsided by this one. Definitely thought that, in the year of our Lord 2022, we would kind of be past weird shit like that. But, leave it to Wizards to, fuck up such a cool idea. Anyway, keep listening. There's some really fun space travel stuff, but don't pay for the book. Definitely don't give them a cent of cash for this. Just steal the idea because the idea is cool. Just don't let them take credit for it. Anyway, yeah, have fun.
So for those who are not in the know, Starjammer is a D&D, it's now 5e, but it is a D&D setting that has existed since 2nd edition. It is, oddly enough, and kind of ironically, it usually comes near the end of a game's life cycle, of like a system's life cycle, which is ironic because they did just announce D&D 1, like I think 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, something like that, or dropped a playtest for it, which is they're like, hey, we're basically doing we're basically gonna migrate all of your stuff online and be able to update your books on the fly for errata and stuff because shit's whack, fam. But anyway, I don't have opinions on D&D 1. I haven't looked at it yet. But Spelljammer is good. Spelljammer is hey, I want to play. Noah, are you a fan of the old classic animated film Treasure Planet?
No, not at all.
Okay, well that's unfortunate. I thought we could be friends, but now we are gonna have to cut this.
Honestly,
podcast
here's the thing, Dan. Here's the thing about Treasure Planet.
If you say you haven't seen Treasure Planet, I'm going to piss the bed.
I've seen it, right? And it might be the worst media I've ever seen in my life. It was so derivative of Muppet Treasure Island. It was actually embarrassing.
I actually had to calm someone down at work the other day because I was talking offhandedly. No, was it work? No, was it chat? I don't remember. Talking about somewhere. And I had to be like, no. I understand that Treasure Planet is the second best version of Treasure Island. Because Muppets Treasure Island exists and it's perfect. That movie can do no wrong. But Treasure Planet is very good. Spelljammer high key just feels like we wanted to make Treasure Planet.
Mm-hmm.
Highlights. So it is a space game. It is a game about magic space bullshit, about sailing the astral sea, because that's what it's called, because it's tiny little D&D thing where the planes meet, where different planes meet, so like the plane of fire and the plane of water meet. It's all steam, right? That kind of thing. Where the material plane and the astral plane meet, it becomes the astral sea, which is this. It's weird. It's very weird. It is like almost hyperspace, but not. It is, you move around via thought power, like you think about where you want to go and then you're moving in that direction, but it does still take time to get there. You don't have to eat or breathe or sleep, and and time doesn't really move there, so you can just chill there for a couple hundred millennia and be fine. But it's not hyperspace really, and there's like dead gods scattered around in there.
I do love that. When you told me that there's like a world where you just go and the concept of a sim pirate lord terrorizing it for millennia is there.
It's rad. It's
I immediately was thinking, how sick would it be to be like, I mean, literally the legend of the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Princess Bride, but it's like,
but it's actually just the same guy.
Yeah,
he just dips into the astral sea for a while until they get so highlights of this setting. Big one for me are hippos, the hippo people, the GIF or the GIF, if you will, GIFF. There's a line. The only thing I hate about them is that there is an actual line in their description that says that half of them pronounce it with a hard G and half of them pronounce it with a soft G, and they fight about which is which. It's stupid and dumb.
It's a J.
It's a G.
Oh, never mind.
It's a G, and that's very funny. But also, how dare you?
It's
literally
really
how dare
stupid.
You?
It's fucking gimmick shit. Get that out of my face.
They have gunpowder and firearm proficiency just by default. Like that is their racial weapon is guns, like black powder firearms. To the point where I think a late game one removes the loading quality on their thing, so it doesn't take a round to reload. They just fire it till they're out of ammo, which is very funny because it is like a musket. And they're just big hippo boys, so they're great. It has things like illithid, like roving bands of illithids or mind flayers, whichever you want to call them. that just show up, fuck your shit up, and then warp out of there with actual like warp teleporters. Like they jump into hyperspace, like actually hyperspace, not the astral sea, just floop.
I do like that.
There are dead gods, and apparently what dead gods manifest into is gigantic chunks of vaguely god-shaped rock, like kind of like statues almost. But they can be hollowed out, and one of them is an illithid like an illithid outpost, which is fucking cool.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
Things like various different gods have like their usual realms, like their afterlife type thing. You can just wander in there, if at like via the astral sea, which is great. Things like there are rules on gravity and air. Gravity, Noah, we're all aware of gravity. We understand how it works. Big thing makes small thing come towards it. Whatever.
Yeah. Yep. That's about it.
Not in Spelljammer.
Okay.
In Spelljammer, gravity. Let me see if I can find the exact quote. Hold on. Where is it? There's a great quote where essentially it says something to the effect of gravity works in whatever way is the most convenient. Like verbatim. I think that is the most verbatim thing. It works in the way that is most convenient. And what that manifests as is that all Spelljammer ships in Spelljammer have a gravity plane that cuts directly through the middle, flat through the middle, and gravity pulls equally in both directions towards that plane. So if you fall off the side of your ship, you're just going to kind of bob up and down along, like in and out of that on either side of the plane until you get either pulled in or get too far away. Is that fucking dumb? 100%. Is that funny as hell? Also 100%.
I do love that, actually.
Things that are also fun. There is oxygen mechanics. Oxygen forms around things. Like oxygen bubbles like form around things, and things that have an oxygen bubble, like the bigger the oxygen bubble, the longer people can live inside it without getting refreshed one way or another. Humans, their natural like whatever buoyancy, space buoyancy if you want to call it, have a air bubble that lasts, and I quote, anywhere from 2 to 20 minutes. And the reason being, as we all can read between the lines on this, is that's because that way you can have either cool things where your party is running around outside on an asteroid and not have to worry about it, or you can have, oh shit, you're almost out of oxygen and you have to get back to your ship, and both are equally viable as like storytelling mechanics. In both cases it's only a problem if the plot says it's a problem, and I love that.
I do love that.
There are most of the ships do not use cannons. They use like mangonels and ballistae. Because and the game specifically says, yeah, they do technically have that, but like please don't use them. Just use spells and guns. Like you're better off doing that.
Honestly, and why would you use like stuff like that? Come on now.
Yeah, because that's not cool or anything.
No.
They all have different maneuverability rules. That each ship has a battle deck. It has different rules about the Spelljammer chairs, because they are chairs that things are piloted via. The entire ship is only piloted basically via that chair, like to the point where there are solar and lunar dragons, which are also a new addition. Solar dragons are, well, you might guess they're from suns. They literally come out of stars. And make their hordes near them or in asteroids near them. And you can find Spelljammer chairs in their hordes because they can be separated off of the rest of the ship and hauled off they're just a magic item that can get attuned, which is great. It's dumb. It's a dumb setting. It's a very dumb, very silly setting. And I love it so much.
It sounds like a blast. Honestly, I would love to try it out one of these days, but I say that knowing that I'm not going to do it anytime soon, so don't try and set anything up with me because I will never take time.
I totally get that. I think Sam might be doing a game of it once we finish our current system, or our current game rather. And I'm very excited for it. I'm excited for that. There are like all sorts of like creepy monster space things that exist. Everything from asteroids that are alive to something called a murder comet to
murder comet sounds fun.
They are a comet that's vaguely in the shape of a face that can either be created by or infused with the soul of a spellcaster, and they just fly around and murder things.
Sounds to me like all this is fuck, what's it called? God, help me out here, Dan.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Majora's Mask.
There it is. Yes, it's a Majora's Mask, but comet sized instead of moon sized. Which is still fucking big, to be clear. Like, that's still big enough to rip through, like, a ship. Oh, all the ships. All the ships just like literally more than half of them just look like boats. They just look like boats that are in space.
And that is, in my opinion, the best part of Treasure Planet.
It is
when they're just like, yeah, it's a regular boat, but it also has solar panels and an engine.
That's basically what it is. They basically have big sails and that's it, like solar sails, and that's all you work with. They have space clowns, which are exactly what they sound like. I
hate space clowns.
They are on clown ships and they murder things and they're evil and creepy.
So I got to be honest, Dan, literally today, right now, I am about to record a podcast episode about It Chapter 2.
Talk about space clowns.
Not to divert away from what we're talking about, because I am enjoying learning about this game.
I have one last before we met
okay.
before, because this is, I think, the most important thing to me.
Do it.
There's an enemy type called a vampire.
Fucking hell.
And Noah, you might be able to guess. It's a pirate, it's a vampire, and their ship is crewed by their thralls and shadows.
I love that.
It specifically says in their rules, vampires do not need to eat or drink, but they sure do like to. Eat, drink, or sleep, but they sure do like to, or something to that effect. And I love the idea of just a ship of vampires who ride around and do dumb bullshit. And it doesn't really, there are also ghosts, like full on, like classic maritime story ghosts that like will show up, that can show up and help you or show up and fuck your day. Like there are ghost ships. It's everything I needed it to be, and I love it so much. Okay, now go ahead.
I do like the fact that there's ghosts, not gonna lie.
No, full on ghosts. It's great.
Okay, so It Chapter 1 and 2. All right. So over at my other podcast, Casual Obsession, the horror movie podcast where we talk about horror movies, we decided to continue our okay, so let me give you some of the back lore. Hawk Boy Summer, Ethan Hawke. We were focusing around Ethan Hawke movies. We had 3 movies in a row with Ethan Hawke: The Black Phone, Sinister, and The Purge, the first movie. Okay? And, we're like, how do we continue Hawk Boy Summer? Well, we realized we've been doing it all along. If we just change the words and pretend that nothing changed. So now we're doing Honk Boy Summer, which is clowns.
That's very funny, and I love that.
So we watched It Chapter 1, and I know these are not your kind of movies.
No, go off.
The first It, this is the remake, by the way, the 2017 and 2019. It Chapter 1 is so good. It surprises me how good it is. I think that there are a lot of moments you'd like. There's a lot of, in my opinion, Spielberg-y stuff going on in the music and camera direction, because the vibe that they're trying to convey is, hey ho, this is kids having a summer. Isn't it nice when kids have a summer? And the first 10 minutes were actually shown in theaters as a teaser promo for the movie. Stephen King would come up and be like, I'm Stephen King, and I think this movie is pretty cool. And then it would play the first few minutes of the movie. And completely unedited. And it is such a good opening. And the whole movie is just really tight and well done. But spoiler alert for the episode coming out next week for that podcast, It Chapter 2 blows chunks, dude.
Oh no.
It's so aggressively mid. I rated It Chapter 1 like an 8 out of 10. It's not perfect, but it is really good. It Chapter 2 is boring. It's all the story arcs that were concluded in the first movie. Some of them are there's this weird love triangle. There's weird concluded other moments and story beats that are brought back because, they left the town and then they forgot their childhood because that's how the magic of the situation works. And it's no, shut the fuck up, man. I watched this happen. I watched the love triangle conclude. Everything was cool and groovy and it worked. It was done. Don't make me do this again.
And then,
this sucks. And then, whoop-de-fucking-do. I have to watch this movie now. And I gotta be honest, man, I'm gonna have issues rating this movie above a 5.
Oof.
I don't even think it's a 5. If we're being honest, maybe it's a 6. But it's not good. It is distinctly worse than the other one. I still think it's worth watching. It concludes the story. But
sure, but oof.
I don't know, man. It's not as good. Rotten Tomatoes, it's 24% lower than the other one. So like that's not good for it.
That I'm sorry that you had to watch a bad clown movie.
I mean, I gotta be honest, it's not the worst clown movie I've ever seen. There's this movie that's literally called Clown, and the gist of the movie is that this guy puts on a clown suit because he hired a clown for his fucking kid and his birthday, but the clown shows up drunk, so he finds this clown suit and he puts it on instead. And turns out it's the skin of a being called the Cloyne, which is an ancient race that clowns are modeled after.
Oh no.
Yeah, yeah. It's really bad. He bleeds rainbow.
Oh no.
He tries to kill himself, so he shoots himself in the head and rainbow blood sprays everywhere, but the clown is possessing his body, so it turns into a slapstick moment cuz he cannot die, but he needs to eat children also. The clown eats children.
What?
It's called The Clown. In case in case you want to watch it.
I'm gonna be honest with you, my friend. I don't think I do.
I don't think you do either. It is a very bad movie.
It sounds
And
really bad.
while I think I could convince you to watch a slew of other movies that are horror that you might not like, but with me they're saying this is why this is cool and I think you'll like it, I think you'd like it.
Here's the thing. I'm gonna be honest with
Clown,
you. I almost
I don't
wonder if I
know.
might not enjoy a really bad horror movie more than a good one.
I gotta be honest, man. If you're gonna go for a really bad horror movie, watch Killer Clowns from Outer Space to keep the clown
there's a
theme
game.
rolling.
Did you see there's a game?
I'm so stoked about the game coming out.
There's gonna be
Some
a game.
people are mad that it's like a multiplayer only game.
Dude, it's a
But
property
I
from
gotta
like
be honest. It's the 80s.
Yeah. It's a property from the 80s. Like, calm down. What I'm sorry that you have so much Killer Clowns from Outer Space content out there that you're really able to be picky about it.
Well, it's one of those things where it's like I get it.
No, I do.
It's more fun to play a single player game, but also the concept of Killer Clowns is so good. You have 4 guys trying to run away and you have like 1 to 3 killer clowns chasing after them.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It works. I would just go for it.
Yeah, 100%. Yes. I think that it'll be fun. I think it'll be good.
I don't know.
I'm excited.
It'll be good though.
It'll be
It's
good.
a fun time.
It'll be fun. I'm excited.
One of these days. Dan, let's exit this.
I don't
Let's
want
wrap
to.
this shit up. You don't want to?
We already
Okay, we
did-
can
we already
record
did once.
forever. You're so right, but that was just me panicking saying Nina locked her keys at work and I have to get her a car.
There it is. I just wanted you to out your wife.
Twice, because you know I'm not cutting that. Adios, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Have a good one. I disconnected instead of hitting the stop recording button.